Hello, everybody. It's Sarah Upside Down here. It's been a while since I've been on. If you haven't been to my channel before, I'm from Texas and I do content for autism, ADHD, OCD, mental health, etc. Um, it's probably been about a month since I've done a video. I have had a pretty big mental health break and I'm getting attacked by a cat right now. But this year has just been super chaotic and I keep having to come back to the channel and say I'm coming back, but then, more things seem to happen. Um, Recently, someone else in the family, uh, close on my husband's side, passed his grandma, and so we just went through that, and um, it just seems to be like a never ending story and not like the movie, the fun movie, The Never Ending Story. So, um, but yeah, I'm trying to get back on here, trying to bring more content in. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about executive functioning and just going through, multiple things in your life and Cptsd. Um, that's just part of my mental health story, but I know a lot of other people struggle with. And I know for me, having autism and ADHD and kind of going through trying to process everything has been uh, either way too fast at times, and then, all of a sudden it kind of hits you in the face. I just feel like, for me, anyways, and a lot of my friends, we process emotions differently. And so I was able to keep coming on here and doing stuff and keep it up even throughout all, the craziness of my mom's case. And if you don't know much about that, there's some videos from before, just about her missing persons case and things like that. Um, and, somehow I was able to still get on here and update people and then try to do a video or whatever. But eventually I just got to a point to where I was like, I think I just need a complete break from everything. So, and then my kids were going to be starting school, but this summer has been one of the toughest just because, you know, losing my mom and for my kids, their grandma. And so, we've had to like double team a lot more. And then, with my sister, also needing help and, us needing a little bit more, we just don't really have any family. So it just became harder and harder to get on the channel. And a lot of my executive functioning things start to come in effect because there's so much going on and a lot of stress. And whenever you kind of start going through like depression and things like that from situations like this, and it finally, after like 4 months or whatever, sort of hits you, um, you have to take time to sort of deal with that. And that's kind of what happened with me. But also just with so many things that I'm trying to juggle, or my husband working more hours, and then me doing, more with the kids, more of their activities. The more and more that I end up tackling on, like I I just struggle more and more. I'm not having time to regulate. I'm not having time to, kind of try to stay away from burnout um, as soon. And I start to have a lot more memory issues and things like that, which is also with executive dysfunctioning. And even if you're ADHD, not autistic, or not both, like, sort of a lot of neurodiversity struggles with some short term memory things. Um, Sorry. The Roadrunner keeps beeping on my phone. I did that because my kids love the Space Jam movie, so I thought it would be funny every time my phone went off, it sounded like the Roadrunner. I don't know. This is just my brain. Um, but yeah, so just, I've been trying to focus on my kids more, try to, make sure that everything was okay for them school this year. My son Leo is going into first grade, and my daughter this was her first year in like big kids school, pre-K. So, we had to get her little uniforms and all this kind of stuff. And then I had to take Leo school shopping, and, it's just insane. Like, I wasn't able to barely function doing a lot of that stuff, and I had to just keep pushing myself and pushing myself. And then when I would want to do a video, I just was not able to function enough to sit here and try to do that. So, I applaud those on the YouTube that are able to just like chug on, and not saying they don't hit burnout, but I think when you go through a lot of traumatic experiences, the burnout happens a lot quicker because you're trying to deal with all these emotions that are so deep, really hard to. Recently, right before I found out about my husband's grandmother, I had spoke a little bit about doing karate and stuff, and I do that with my son. And so I've moved up into the next class up, and I've been doing really good at practicing and trying to stay in that. And then so is Leo, and he got to move up a class as well. And it was supposed to all be to help and heal us, but and it has, and it still is, but it's just been hard the past few weeks, because one of our friends from karate got in a car wreck. And so that was kind of really triggering. And it was one of the kids that I connected with the most. Of course, I'm like one of the oldest people in there, like by age, but like as far as I know, and a lot of my autistic friends are like this too. Like I've always gotten along with like really younger groups or really older people. And so it's kind of been hard with people my age. And so I really do consider like the kids and the people in that group my friends. I don't even see their age. I'm just sort of like, accepting of everyone in their ages. I think like half the kids that happen to be in our karate group are also on the spectrum, which is kind of interesting. We're like all obsessed with anime, and we talk about all that, and then we also are in karate together. So all those positives, it's been really healthy and really great to do that. I'm now going to be doing 3 classes a week or every other week. So since the kids have gone to school, and I'm in this middle of, just trying to heal and get through sort of, the trauma of everything this year and losing, multiple people and things like that. I'm just trying to push myself deeper into karate and to help Leo. He has been struggling in first grade already with people kind of being bullies, and he thankfully has known to use his karate moves and block and stuff, even though he says he misses them sometimes. I'm just like he's becoming conscious of like something that he can do to protect himself, and that's just flipping awesome. He was really sad yesterday in karate because thinking about what, I guess how the kids are treating him. And he was so excited to go back to school and stuff. And then this starts going on, within like the second week. So, he's able to talk to his karate teacher, our sensei, and that gives him someone else that's in his life that kind of can speak into him going through some of these things. I guess it just happens younger and younger. I mean, I didn't remember getting bullied at least until the 4th grade, maybe. So, and I hate that, but at the same time, he's going to be able to stand up for himself and stuff. And so, anyway, that's where all my focus has been, just really on my kids, getting them in and ready for school. And then I help some teens on Mondays. I've cut back to doing that every other week, just so I can focus on like my home here and myself. and, kind of healing, finally kind of taking a step back. And then I'm able to come in and do this more, um, and get back to doing the videos. So, but to be honest, like, going back to the executive functioning stuff and just sort of lacking a lot in that area, especially going through high stress and these different situations, just trying to be there for myself and, my family or whatever. Um, I would want to plan something and I would try to get on here, and it's like, I was having a lot of times, and I'm still struggling right now, but I was having a lot of times with just like completely going nonverbal, or like not being able to get the words that I need, um, to use to be able to even make a video. I mean, I think that's why I do like a lot of these slideshows and pictures and things like that, because it doesn't only help me see. I know that a lot of my friends like to read more with pictures, or, and so I can kind of have the words explain. So those who need audio, and then also have pictures. And so just trying to touch with different ways that people can take it in. Um, so anyhow, but for me, it's hard to do the videos, whenever I can't really put my words together. I can't really form sentences and stuff, which is surprising because I can talk I thought I should be a comedian at one point, and I still do somewhat because I could just get on the stage and talk for like an hour and a half straight. I mean, y'all know my videos are not short. Like, I just say, I have all this stuff in my brain. I'm never with people at any time of the day unless they're like under 7 years old. And so I get on here and I'm just like exploding all this information. I'm like, here, adults, uh, or teenagers, or whoever's watching my channel. But the point is, I'm like, they're older than 7 years old. I have viewers that are older than 7 years old. I don't know if like my contents maybe would be helpful for them at that age. But I do help kids a lot in karate too, just joke with them and laugh and stuff. And, um, as far as like when we have to work together or do our one steps or things like that, like I really enjoy being able to sort of help them and to show them, some of the moves if they're just learning. We kind of just like help each other out. So it's a really cool thing. It's like, I mean, we're going to kick each other's butt later, but we get to help each other out while we're practicing and stuff. And I think that it's one of the best things that I've found, other than dance, for, autistics. Uh, you're just being able to ground yourself and really be in the moment, and you get to learn repetitive things over and over again. So it's super exciting, like doing the katas and all this stuff. Just practicing that over and over again. You're just doing it until you see all these details of like what you sort of need to fix, or like how you need to change your position and stuff like that. So, and I think it really does help with executive functioning and stuff too, because you're kind of like working your brain, you're working your memory. You have to, as adults, we're not in issues. Great. Well, okay. Sorry, I was waiting for a second. Glitch has been very clingy. She, like, every time I take her and put her off my lap, she just tends to hop right back on. I mean, I'm not complaining because sometimes she's not all lovey like this. So my friend Rachel, when she comes over, she'll be excited that maybe Glitch is actually in a cuddly mood instead of attack your fingers. And I think she got me earlier. But anyways, I think that, doing the karate kind of helps with some of those executive functioning issues, because a lot of it for me is like memory. I'm like forgetting people's names. Like it just gets like worse and worse. And I create systems all over my house, and it seems like really OCD because like I am, but also I try not to be a perfectionist about it anymore, but I entire household. I mean, like all of us in this house, probably including my cats and dogs, are neurodiverse. And so we need certain things on, that help us function, that help us find our things. And, to also create like a little bit of dependence for the kids, like lowering their closets, having their clothes to where they can reach them, where they can pick their stuff out, like kind of giving them the creativity to do that. Except for obviously on school days when Lila has to wear uniforms. But we still try to make it fun where she can like jazz it up with some earrings because she likes doing all that fun, sparkly stuff. Like she could stem all day with that, like just glitter and sparkles and unicorns or whatever. But we have it in our house where when you walk in, there's different hooks or whatever. There's some for the keys, and then you got your bags and purses or backpacks or whatever. And a lot of things like this, you can find on Pinterest and things like that. But for me, it wasn't like, ooh, this looks nice. I mean, yeah, that's a plus, but it's like, it's a system. Like, we're like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in this household. And I don't know if he was autistic, but like my brother really loved watching him whenever we were growing up. And like, I'm pretty sure he's an autistic or whatever as well. But anyway, love it. He had the sweaters, he has the shoes, like that's what we have going on. And then it doesn't end there because it's like that in every room of the house. And like I said, this can all make your house look nicer, but doing the whole minimalist and functioning thing is way better than who cares about what your house looks like. I mean, I'm pretty sure mine and my husband's both sides of our offices look like we're still in college. So whatever, both super nerdy and fun in our own different ways. There's just a lot of self-expression in the house. So we take, away, less easy functioning things. Like we have to be able to see the stuff in our house. So, especially going through all this stuff, if I wouldn't have all these systems, I would not be able to function. I would not be able to do day-to-day tasks easily. I've been doing this since I was in elementary school in different ways. And part of that was because we moved a lot, but I would have done it anyways because that's just how I liked to do things. But going through all this trauma and chaos and everything like that, like it really does help to have some sort of systems in your house or whatever. And if it's for your kids, if they're the ones on the spectrum and they struggle with the routine and needing structure or like, these systems, it may sound like a lot to like redo your whole house for that or whatever. But I don't know, maybe this stuff ends up helping you too. We have just emptied out so much of, the house sort of homey looking stuff. It still looks really homey or whatever, but we do that so that we can, I'm like using my hands to show how to do this. But for instance, in the kitchen, so I have like the open shelving, like we can see where the stuff is to find it, because when you're having memory issues or executive dysfunction, I can't talk. Or you have kids and you're autistic, or they also are, and you're a parent and you're autistic and ADHD, like trying to just find stuff all day. I mean, you already sort of do that when they lose their toys. And I feel like Sherlock mom all the time trying to find their special things. And seeing as Lila collects like 5 or 6 different backpacks and puts stuff in them all the time, like I have to be a detective in the house. So, I went from detective at the beginning of the year till still mom detective finding everybody's stuff. But even though it's a lot of work for me to set up these systems in the house, it actually makes it so much easier, not just on myself to do that. It also makes it easier on everybody in the house. And, these emotional times, and when times are still busy, you still have, 3 days of karate and gymnastics for your daughter and your school schedules. And oh God, it just sounds really stressful saying all that stuff. But oh my gosh, like everything changed like 3 or 4 times this summer with the routines and the schedules. I mean, I couldn't even remember what day it was to even try to do a video. That's the last excuse that I'll use for why I haven't been here. But I just I could not function. And my systems weren't even working for me anymore. Sounds like my house is a dang computer or something. What do you expect? I'm wearing a shirt that says Japan and I have a cat. And all this cool stuff. I don't know. But yeah, it was just a really long summer, and I'm glad it's over. I'm going to have a lot more time to plan what I'm going to do on the videos. I'm still making systems around the house now that the kids are not here. And I'm not sure like if I'm going to, be rushing into a job and stuff yet. I have a neurologist appointment on the 15th of September, and hopefully I can figure out more about what's going on with my executive functioning issues, my memory, kind of forgetting, people and names and stuff. And, I can find everybody's things. I just can't find my own brain. I don't know. I'm sure most of you understand that. But other than the appointments and stuff coming up, I don't think I'm going to be rushing into a job because of a lot of the sensory issues that I'm having. And because I still, I think I need to take this time and this first like month or whatever of the kids being in school just to kind of step back and slowly work up to getting back into things. Stay in karate because it's helping. And hopefully when the weather gets nice, because we're in Texas and I don't even know if that happens, then I can get outside more, go do some trails, and just try to, just get out of the house a little bit more, by myself or one-on-one with someone. Because I realized like during all this healing and having these issues and memory and stuff like that, it's really helpful to kind of just have a, one person or a really small group or something, not really just continuously going to all those groups or feeling pressured back into that either. Because, a lot of self-esteem issues comes with, I just met all these people, I don't know their names again, like went to church again, can't remember anything. And just the expectations and sort of demands in all these places. If you just don't let that affect you, or if you're sort of a person that's people pleaser or whatever, if you're not remembering things, or if you're having trouble with your executive functioning and stuff like that, just don't push yourself to continue going and doing that stuff when you can't even, take care of yourself like in that way. Like it's because it's too much. And like there's times when I'll go into, it's because it's like right here, it's all in this area, when I'll go into sensory overload or like meltdown time, and it's just right here, and all that electricity. And the only words that I can say sometimes to my husband is too much. It's too much, whether that's emotional too much, sensory too much, whatever. Because of being in burnout and not being able to re-energize. And by me saying not being able to, it's like I'm not letting myself, I'm not thinking that it's okay to step back from these people or these things or whatever, really because of fear. I mean, the world is sort of run by that, I suppose. But I'm trying not to just fall into that. If I can't go to a class at the gym one day, oh well, I like to stick to my routine for that. But if it's too much, it's too much. And, sometimes I need to push myself a little bit if I'm being stubborn or maybe arrogant or something. But if it's like physically, mentally, emotionally burnt out and exhausted, learning to be more conscious of that and trying to understand my emotions, continuing to go to my therapist every single week, unless I forget what day it is and miss again. That happens. See, whatever. But she totally understands. Not that it's good to do that. That is not intentional when that happens. I've missed my tattoo appointment like 3 or 4 times. I'm finally going today to get it touched up. The one I got from my mom. It's a sunflower. I don't know if you can see it. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, and I just, I get tired of explaining to people that I literally forget these things, and it makes it hard for me to want to sign up for stuff or try to be dependable somewhere with some of these struggles. So, um, and even with you guys, like I feel horrible whenever I don't show up. I feel horrible if I am not, being able to be dependable. I know this channel really does help other people, and it helps me to share that, why I got this little tattoo over here. My mom's is a period, but mine's a semicolon. And that, it doesn't always have to end. Things don't always have to just like go into a dark hole forever. I mean, I was definitely in that for a good minute, and there's still really dark days, and I have to figure out how to get back up again and to be the mom that I've wanted to be. Um, but you don't ever really predict that uh, you will have this many struggles just trying to be a parent. And trust me, I don't want a pity party because I do that for myself on daily. Because honestly, it sucks. Y'all like my new Ace Ventura pants? Um, I'm digging them. I'm like, yeah, look at them. They're so cool. I need a Hawaiian shirt that's for fall with like a Hawaiian pumpkin or something to wear with these. Come on, Gonzo. I know you do it. Please buy these pants. They're at Five Below, and we can wear them together and just like put a cropped picture like we're in it, you know. Um, but yeah, so I will be testing at the end or middle of September for my next belt. Uh, so I'm advanced white belt now, and I'm starting to practice for competitions. So, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it's really weird. Most of the funerals and things I've gone to, is sort of off topic, have been people that are young. Um, so it was kind of weird going to a grandmother's funeral recently, but um, it's not that I don't want to talk about it on here. We are making a video and stuff that we're going to get set up or whatever eventually to kind of help do that. But it's just really conflicting sometimes, I think, with how I think and overthink and then can't go to sleep because I'm thinking. And then I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday and had to drink some tea and take some melatonin in the 2 a.m. because I think. And then I think rough things whenever it's real light, and have nightmares sometimes. So anyway, I guess with losing someone, and I try not to let it like take so much of my space up on like um, how they're doing or whatever. I think with the people that I've lost before in the past that were also younger and stuff, like I was able to somehow maybe compartmentalize things. I've gone through trauma since I was a young child, so I don't really know how your brain. That's why I'm so interested in neurology and psychology, but um, it's just really hard to try to explain, like going through that stuff and then trying to get to a point to where it's not sort of all you think about, and letting it's more like letting myself go on, because uh, I won't ever know everything about it. And so, you know, and also if I let it take so much of my brain and my space up in there, like that's the least I'm gonna function, because it's just like your five senses. You take one away, maybe the others work better or whatever, but you still don't have one. If I like fill my entire brain up with just that and the depression of it, and not knowing and the unknown, and trying to think about it forever and try to make a solution when there isn't really one, other than me working hard to go to the doctors, take care of my health, and be able to be a mostly functioning mom or whatever. Uh, and now I have my tools. Now I know I'm autistic. Now I know what I need, or how to say what I need. And if I can't talk it, I have an app for that, to explain when I'm having a meltdown. Um, but even though I have to live with those things on a daily basis, and those are the negative sides of autism for me, anyways, the other sides and the good sides of that are still really helpful. And, I feel like it's like being a strong empath, or someone that just really, really deeply cares for those out there that are lost or need help, is that it's a blessing and a curse. And you have to know how to sort of balance and get the tools to help you along. I mean, I am really a hands-on tool person. I changed my own sink in the kitchen, and it's got a cool sprayer and everything. So I don't know what that ADD. See, I don't know. But anyway, um, my video is going to only be like 30, maybe 5 minutes today, because this is just sort of to touch base, kind of go over some of the struggles of executive functioning. Um, and like I said, I always do solutions at the end. So one of them, which I've spoke about like multiple times, is doing karate, whatever style, but I would say like someone who really like has like sticks to the sort of the values and things of that, and especially if you have kids or whatever. Like I've seen multiple kids on the spectrum in my class. Like, if you have a good patient sensei, like it's so helpful for them to regulate, and to just work on their self-control, without just suppressing it. Like they're able to do something with that, whether that's dancing or whatever. Um, and, a lot of those things, even though they are energetic or they're using energy or whatever, they also are sometimes giving someone on the spectrum energy, because they're kind of raising and balancing out these levels. But versus, me going and screaming outside or whatever while I'm having a meltdown or something, or, you know, I don't know, something else, just not probably more positive. I'm able to go punch my punching bag or go to class and sort of try to, breathe throughout the day or whatever, use my yoga, whatever breathing techniques and stuff, and then go to class and just, practice, give it all I got and try to get it out there. Try to, the more you do that, the more you become able to, balance out the anxiety or those emotions. And then it doesn't mean it's perfect, because I might have a really bad meltdown or something another time, but I'm working on being able to sort of help with that. And I think by doing some of those things, for especially if you have a lot of mental health and stuff like that with being autistic or whatever, that you're taking out all of this mental and emotional things that are crowding all your space, that is taking, I mean, I'm literally think that probably what's going on with me is fibromyalgia or something in that general area I've known for a really long time. Whatever. And all that can be because nerves, trauma, stress, all that stuff. And if I just let myself keep piling that on and being depressed and not getting up and doing those things, I'm going to hurt more. I'm going to get more sick. I'm probably not going to eat right, other stuff, and it's going to affect my nerves, which affects my muscles, which affects my arthritis. I mean, it's like a chain reaction. It sucks. So I've got these two choices: keep on doing that or do something the other way. And so I don't want to be in pain forever. So I've been drinking celery juice every morning, and it's not that great, but I also was going through a lot of issues with pain and stuff and inflammation, whatever, and some really uncomfortable stuff. And so I've been drinking that every morning. So there's another solution. I'm like, slap it on there. I'm serious. I was in like desperate pain. I found out kind of what was going on with me. I did the research, whatever. And then I was able to look up YouTube videos. Thank you, people, for out there for your tips on this. But like, then I just tried it. And I, usually do natural stuff. So I drank the celery juice every morning before I had anything else, and like my pain slowly started to subside. Like, I should do a dang commercial for this or whatever, because it is amazing. I mean, I was in bed with pain all over, sweats, whatever, didn't have COVID, whatever. I was just like, seriously felt like I was dying because of the area that the pain was in, and it was really tough. So I listened to these people and I started doing the supplements or whatever for the apple cider vinegar. I got them off Amazon. I've also been taking for mood support and help with some of the depression stuff, the ashwagandha. I don't know. They're putting it in a lot of stuff these days, but I've been taking that for the past couple months. It's really helped. And then if you have like any premenopausal or menopausal or issues, hormone, thyroid, stuff like that, the celery juice, the apple cider vinegar, and the ashwagandha stuff will help a lot with that. And just drinking my different teas, I'm staying consistent with creating better routines now that my kids are in school. So that stuff will help a lot with your executive dysfunction, taking out the, not just forgetting about what you're sad or upset about or whatever, but just sort of trying your best to let it go. And I hate saying that because it's just like annoying for me to hear sometimes, but like just trying to kind of slowly get some of that stuff, just like a string, like a hair that just keeps on coming out, and try to take it out and try to take it out. And then you will be able to, kind of create these good, consistent routines. Mine has been simple stuff like hygiene, like I've never had like a facial routine, like putting stuff on my face. I just don't like stuff on my face. Like, I barely even like makeup on. Everything itches. Like, my skin's so sensitive. It sucks. But like, just when I take a shower, I like put my stress eucalyptus flipping awesome smelling lotion my bestie Rachel got me, like all up on this. And then after that, I get, I wipe my face off. I get the cream and stuff. I, do the stuff, if you do face stuff or whatever. I never did it, but like, I'm making it a point to do these little things to take care of myself and to keep, myself healthy. That isn't just inside, but like taking care of my skin and whatever, blah, blah, stuff that I just never really cared about because I'd rather just don't go do something else and build, make, and create, we just don't care about this stuff over here, but like, we need to. So, I'm just being honest about it. I really struggle with those things. And like, now I'm trying to like make my routine somewhat fit with the kids, reading them more books at night again or whatever. There are things. Also, So my kids' school changed this year or whatever. I don't know why I keep doing this. I'm just like, I really need a stim right now. But no, that's too loud. That hurts my ears. I don't have any of my things. But yeah, so since he is like literally right on the next road around the corner, I've been throwing my kids in the back of a bike trailer, like riding the bike, like dorky mom in this outfit, like up to the school. And then my 6-year-old is probably a little bit too big for it though. I actually made like a huge license plate thing. I'll have to do a video or something because this is just like hilarious. Like my going to school routine for the kids or whatever. And like obviously hilarious autistic parent, but like I need one of those spinny hats that has the thing on it with the fan that you twirl because we're going back into all this 90s attire. And so I feel like I need like a spinny hat to like ride to school with and just, yeah, that would probably embarrass Leo, but it'd be so funny. And so anyways, I drop him off and then I go back to the house and then I throw Lila in the car and then we go to her school. Hey, Alex. And so then I have this routine, like it's like the smallest routines that have really helped. I mean, like being a parent, I don't know. You just never know. It's going to be so crazy. So after school, I get the bike trailer. I actually start my car because I'm in Texas and it's hot as crap. And so I start my car. So that way it's like freezing when we get back. I get in the bike trailer and I'm like riding all the way. I'm like spinning around the corner. The bike trailer's like throwing around. Anyways, if any of y'all saw me in person, you'll know this is not an exaggeration. Like I'm ridiculous. And so I'm like speeding around the corner. Already made best friends with like the crosswalk lady because she's super, super nice. And like, I don't know, it's just random people like that I make friends with. And then I'm like, haha, I feel like I'm like the paper boy and I should be like throwing out papers and saying hi to the crosswalk lady. I don't know. Leave it to Beaver. It's like stuck in my head. So I go and I have to wait. I pick Leo up, then he gets in the bike, and then we speed all the way home because like I gotta be at both schools at the same time. So like I basically split myself in half or something, and I'm 2 people. Okay, no, that doesn't happen. But I get him, we ride back home. The car's like freezing. It's nice and cool for Leo because like he's really sensitive to smell and heat. And so he gets in, it's freezing. We're all good. I mean, I figured this out on like week 2. I got it. Our autistic brains can put the things together and we can strategize. I have figured out the times. I'm the master. Okay, I'm really horrible with time, but I have figured it out. And so then we hop in, we go get Lila, and like, ta-da. And like, I don't have to wait in the car line. I just go up and like in the bike and just wait for them to bring me Leo. And so I get to skip the whole car line. That's what you get when you use your brain. And so I'm just sort of like sarcastic. I know it's bad, but I'm like, just like because I just sit underneath the shade tree and I like this is like basically year 1 of real school for my kid. And I'm just like riding my bike up there. And then I sit under the shade tree. And then I feel really great that I'm doing way less effort. And okay, so actually, I mean, I'm doing more physically because I'm like riding the bike in the heat. It's like, oh my gosh. In the morning, it feels perfect though. And like people have seen me and they're like, oh, I saw you riding on your bike. I'm like, what faces was I making? Because I don't know if like my other autistic friends, whenever they are like dancing or doing karate or like riding a bike, like any active stuff, I guess, like if you make some of the facial expressions that I do, but they're like I'll be like, just some stupid faces. Or in dance, I'm like, it's the tongue, like my tongue just, anyway, I don't know. But yeah, that's been my life lately. So now I have like Monday through Friday, like basically almost nothing during the day except for trying to, stick to my gym routine or whatever. Yeah. And now I'm going to start getting back out in the yard, doing some landscaping and stuff. I'm really into all that, and just kind of taking care of things that I wanted to for a while, like, for like the past 2 years, but like in other ways since I've had kids, which has been like 7. I mean, this couldn't have happened at a worse time with COVID and all these things, but it gives me a lot of energy as an autistic parent to like, and sometimes I hate that they have to be in school so long. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with, whatever. But whenever they get out, I've like got like these little activity sets from Dollar Tree and maybe a fun like STEMmy toy or something, and I'm able to like give to them like how I wanted to, this whole time. And I've still done a lot. I'm still like there for them emotionally and things like that. But I get so burnt out and sensory overload and things, especially by them sometimes and arguing, that I just feel like way past worn out most of the time, that I'm just not always super great. I don't know how to explain that. Any parents would really get that, but when you got some of the sensory issues and just emotional and things like that, it can be harder. So yeah, but I have been finding my way through it and through the emotional stuff, and I miss a lot of the groups and things that I was in, but I don't even intentionally do this. My brain just like literally shuts down, and it'll shut down for like a month or so at a time. And I'm really love to be social with friends, but then I'll just shut down and feel like it's all too much and I can't get my stuff back together. So I'm getting there. I'm slowly getting there. And I'm a really fast-paced, flashy type of person. So I've realized doing karate and other things, sometimes I have to do it slow and work it out. And then I'm able to go faster and faster and faster at the speed of light eventually. And then I need to take breaks. So those are sort of my suggestions. That's my funny story about riding the bike. I will have to make an effort to remember to do a video of me taking the kids to school and my silly autistic strategizing school tips on how to do everything faster with getting your kids there before the tardy bell. So I use all my executive function in getting the kids to school. And then I just stay home and like binge watch different shows and like some crime stuff and some anime. And I don't do anything the rest of the day. I'm just kidding. Okay. I do have a break day where I do that. But yeah, my ADHD hyper self is going to get off of here. I just saw a couple people come on, and it was nice to see a couple people here that I've missed. But I'm going to go back to looking up how to paint wood floors as a floor mural or design, because that's what I'm going to be doing in my kitchen with all my time, is painting an entire floor with some sort of design. So I've got to figure out how to do that the right way, but to be continued. I'm trying to find my mouse. Where did it go? To be continued on next week. I hope that I will have some more content coming out to help people. I think that it's going to be a lot based on, as far as right now, just because, it's sort of what's on my mind and ways coming up to help or whatever, just with autistics that have gone through trauma, and how different things that can help basically with being able to get past that and or either or learn how to cope with it if you can't, because that's still possibly a thing too with some. So it's good seeing you guys. Love y'all, and I will hopefully see y'all next week. And then after that, I will hopefully schedule it back on Wednesdays or a day whenever I'm going to be consistent. We'll try. We'll try. But shows that we're just because we can get on here, we're not all hunky-dory and perfect and stuff. So we will work it out later.